We are given the graph of a rational function, and for part A, we're asked to determine the horizontal asymptotes based upon the left-hand behavior and right-hand behavior. Recall the left-hand behavior is as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches what function value? And the right-hand behavior is as x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches what function value? Let's begin with the left-hand behavior. As x approaches negative infinity, we can think of moving left along the graph. As we move left along the graph, we're moving in this direction. Notice as we move to the left, or as x approaches negative infinity, the y value or function value is approaching positive 2. Let's also sketch the horizontal line y equals 2. This is a horizontal asymptote for the rational function. Notice this is an example of a function in which the graph crosses the horizontal line. So again, the left-hand behavior is as x approaches negative infinity, f of x approaches positive 2, which indicates the horizontal line y equals 2 is a horizontal asymptote. And now let's determine the right-hand behavior. As x approaches infinity, we can think of moving right along the function. As we move right along the function, or as x approaches infinity, notice the y value or function value approaches negative 2. Let's sketch the horizontal line y equals negative 2. This is a horizontal asymptote for the rational function. Again, this is another example where a function does cross a horizontal asymptote. So going back to our right-hand behavior, as x approaches infinity, f of x approaches negative 2, which indicates y equals negative 2 is the equation of a horizontal asymptote. For part B, we want to determine the equations of the vertical asymptotes, which have already been sketched for us in red. A vertical asymptote is a vertical line that a graph approaches and never crosses. On the left, notice the vertical asymptote intersects the x-axis at negative 1. Every point on this line has an x-coordinate of negative 1. The equation of the vertical asymptote on the left, or for the lower x value, is x equals negative 1. The vertical asymptote on the right intersects the x-axis at 3. Every point on this vertical line has an x-coordinate of 3. The equation of the vertical asymptote is x equals 3. This is the equation of the vertical asymptote for the higher x value. I hope you found this helpful.